Hi, it's Patrick Ash. This is my video blog. Thank you again to everyone checking out the Curse Guitar story. I do want to update on that and provide additional information on the customer service element. So if you have any remaining questions about the Curse Guitar, this Fender Strat right here, please do ask. But I think this will otherwise be my last video blog on it. I'll talk about other guitar stuff in the future. I want to focus on the customer service aspect of it. And many have asked about who is the store. Someone made a good point, which is, we don't want people to look around and think it's somebody else, and I can't stress this enough. I don't want anyone to review bomb or any of that crap. Honest to goodness, that's not what I wish. I just want to share information. That's it. And I will reveal the name, and I'll get to my review because that's kind of like my ethical issue here. Is that I wrote my full review a few weeks ago when it first happened, and Google didn't show it. After a week, I was like, okay, maybe it's just too long. I'll just cut it down to like a couple paragraphs. Still not showing it after a couple weeks. So I will share my review just to get it out there and the name of where it is. But on customer service, I will say from my personal experience, a lot of my career has been just in the background, doing data and reporting and not customer service. But 20, 30 years ago, I did dishes and bagging groceries, security, and what else? I worked at a movie theater one summer, contract construction work, and there were many times where I interacted with customers. In fact, I still do, even if that's not my main role. If I were to yell at a customer, if I were to curse at a customer, and certainly if I were to insult them, it would be, it would be my ass. I would be shit canned. Let me stress that, like, that's not what I wish. Like, if I was the boss, that's not what I would do in this situation. I would say, like, don't do that. There's no reason for it. There's never an excuse. Like, even if the customer's getting irate, and I have dealt with that. I don't know about anybody else, but I've absolutely had customers that were mad about price or policy. Like, when I worked in security, I'd say, like, okay, yeah, sign in. I'm not signing in. Da, 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 da. It's like, well, I'm afraid, that's what we have to do otherwise. But sometimes people would get mad about, the cost of something, or they wanted something else. And I don't know about anybody else, but like a little switch goes off in my brain, which is like, I'm on the clock. I'm here to serve people, even if they're mad, even if they're getting cursing. Like, I take so many things personally, but that I don't, if that makes any sense. Like, while I'm on the clock, it's like I'm here to do that. That's my job. And so again, like, if I was a boss, like, I would not like reprimand or whatever. I would just be like, hey, that's unnecessary. If someone's getting upset, you can ask them to leave. Would have had no problem with that. Believe it or not. Someone was just like, hey, we obviously disagree, so if you don't want to come back, we'll see you. And then you can't argue with that. That all being said, because my review is not being posted by Google, I will go ahead and read it here, and I will share the name of the place. I've been guitar for 29 years, but I'm relatively new to Asheville, despite family ties. Like, Ash is a family name. I had high hopes for this shop being a go-to here. But after dozens of positive experiences and a handful of negative ones elsewhere, side note here, many people have asked about, well, you just seem like you're complaining, and I've stressed in other videos, B-String in Winston, Guru Guitars in Raleigh, Harry's Guitar Shop in Raleigh is really good too. And just random shops I've been to over the years. I could name more that good experiences. Like, when I first played out in Knoxville, there was Rob Payne's Music Center, which was many great experiences. Like, when I was learning about guitar and the basics of doing setups and whatnot, because a lot of people have teased me like, can't you do a basic setup? Like, yeah, I've done it on all these back here and these over here. I've replaced necks and bridges and tuners. I've adjusted truss rods. But this was an issue that I couldn't quite figure out. That's why, but to me, it's also an excuse to chit chat and get to know and learn more. Sorry, I digress. Dozens of positive experiences elsewhere, and a few negative. This was the worst. I do think that the repair tech was polite, diligent, and overall fair when I talked with him. But the two clerks behind the counter, when the last day I picked it up, if you followed, look at my other videos for that, they were another matter. After months of mutual frustration, I think mine and theirs, because I think, as I've said, they were also tinkering, experimenting, seeing if like lowering the string trees or raising them would fix it. I think what I've landed on is like there were like incremental improvements. Sorry, I digress again. But yeah, after months of mutual frustration over a nut cut, and paying much more for that repair than I had elsewhere, it was $149. That included an $11 string charge. I think I've stressed here, I had included a new pack of strings, not the ones that were on it when I first dropped it off, but I included a fresh unopened pack of strings. But yet, when I went to pay for it the first time, the total was $149, including $11 for a new set of not the ones I included, was the ones that they purchased, and it added a few weeks onto the anyway. So I disputed that because I'd included that new pack on drop off, which they said it didn't count because they had broke a string and needed to order another pack, which added weeks. Someone had asked about, like, well, hold on here. Sometimes you break a string. Any place I've ever been to before, it's like if you include an unopened pack of strings, you don't get charged for strings. Anything that happens beyond that is on them. Because I would say, like, what if another customer asked for the exact same repair job and they included a new pack, but because the tech didn't break their string, they didn't have to pay that $11 anyway. So in that 149, that included that, and I wasn't pleased about that. When I went for the pickup, when we had our disagreement and argument, they pushed back saying you pay for that and pay for the $10 for the string trees. Which again, like the deal I was attempting to make was, because I've already paid for those strings, even though I included some before, I saw it as I paid you $11. I didn't need to pay you, especially since it was a single string. Like, I could have just dropped one off. I'd order them in bulk. Anyway, they were saying, no, you have to pay for the string trees. And this was the point where I was getting huffy and frustrated. And I think for dramatic effect, I've been like, I don't think I threw my card down. Like, I like sighed and like dropped it a couple of inches off the counter. I mean, I was upset, but I was not yelling. I was sighing. And I said, fine, I guess I just won't be back. They got upset immediately. And one guy started cursing. He said, like, we're not going to take your disrespect. Okay. I proceeded to curse, like, what the fuck? You can get the fuck out of here. Like, that was a few times. And he said, you can take your, as I've said in other videos, you can take your weird ass guitar and get the fuck out of here. And for context, not that they knew this, so I can't hold it against them, but just for context, from my point of view, like where my mind was that it was, I won't go back to the details, but it was the last thing I got from my dad before he died. Okay. To be fair, again, they didn't know that. But they said, like, you can go home and play your little Malmsteen because it has scallops on the frets. I'm like, well, I don't play Malmsteen, I play Pink Floyd. It has a lot of bends. That's why I wanted this nut issue to be resolved. And they said, basically, they kept saying, get the fuck out. And the guy at the counter said, lots of F-bombs. And of course, the insults on top of it. All I know is I didn't raise my voice or curse or insult them. I didn't trade insults. But I did receive that, and you can decide if that's how a customer's frustrated disagreement should be treated. People said on the Phil McKnight video of, well, there's your point of view, their point of view, and there's the truth. And the thing I've said, I emailed my review to the store saying, like, I hope they have surveillance and that they can review the interaction for themselves, because that would be objective, right? That wouldn't be my experience or their experience. That would be objective. I was like, I hope they do have that. And like, I can say what I've shared here is something that, like, hypothetically, if I had to go under oath, I would say, yes, this was my experience. And I would invite them to do the same. The thing that got me is that one of the things they said, like, I don't care if you're having a bad day. I'm like, no, this isn't a bad day. It was because, again, I felt like I was being charged extra, yada, yada. I'm running out of time here, so I'll just say, the name of the shop is Heyday Musical Instrument and Repair. It's not the one in Winston-Salem, it's the one in Nashville. Thank you.